Welcome to IPL Deep Dive, the podcast that brings you expert analysis, thrilling match highlights, and all the drama of IPL 2025. Whether you're a diehard fan or just catching the cricket fever, we've got you covered with in-depth insights and engaging discussions. Get ready to explore the heart of the action with your hosts, Mike and Michelle, as they dive into today's match analysis. It's time to step onto the pitch and join the conversation.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Deep Dive. We've got a real barn burner to break down today.
Oh, yeah.
RCB versus MI.
It's amazing.
So much to get into.
Insane game.
And we've got a ton of great sources to work with here.
Yeah.
Commentary from CricBuzz and ESPN Cricinfo.
The best.
You know, all those guys who are watching this stuff live and really breaking it down.
The experts. Yeah.
And, of course, the official IPL website for all the stats.
Can't forget the stats.
The facts, the figures.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think our mission today is to go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Than just, the scorecard.
Yeah.
What were the big moments?
Right.
The turning points, the strategic decisions that made this match so good.
Yeah, what made it so captivating and what it tells us about these two teams.
Right, because, this is a match that has been called a thriller.
It really was.
An insane game.
One of the all-time IPL classics, maybe.
With over 430 runs scored.
Yeah.
Back and forth, and then RCB just barely squeaking it out by 12 runs.
Yeah, a real nail-biter right down to the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in.
Okay.
And let's start with Mumbai's chase.
Yeah.
What were some of the initial things that stood out to you?
It's interesting because they started their innings and they got to 52 in the first 5 overs, which isn't terrible.
Okay.
But then in the 6th over, they scored only 4 runs.
Wow.
And that over was bowled by Josh Hazelwood.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that kind of, put the brakes on a little bit.
Yeah, and the commentators were really picking up on that, too.
Oh, for sure.
They were talking about how, Will Jacks and Suryakumar Yadav Sky had kind of these measured starts.
Yeah.
Jacks 22 off 18, Sky 28 off 26.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite the pace they needed.
Maybe they left too much for the later batsmen.
Right, and they even made the comparison to RCB's innings, where it was like everybody was chipping in.
Yeah, everybody contributed at the right pace.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kind of steady contributions all the way through.
Yeah, and that can be a real difference maker, especially when you're chasing a high total.
Right, because you can't afford to be too cautious early on.
Exactly. You get behind the 8 ball and it's really hard to catch up.
Especially in T20 cricket.
Oh, yeah. The shortest format, every ball counts.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sky's innings in particular really caught my attention.
Yeah.
We know him for being this explosive batsman.
The man is on fire usually.
Yeah. Right. So to see him kind of have this slower knock.
Yeah.
In a high-scoring chase, it was just unusual.
It is. It's not often that you point to Sky being too cautious as a potential factor in the loss.
It really underscores how much pressure they were under.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Because by the 11th over, they still needed 130 runs from 9 overs.
Oh, man, that is a tough ask.
Yeah, that's a lot of runs.
It is. It is. And, that's a testament to how well RCB bowled and fielded early on.
Yeah, for sure. But then we saw this amazing partnership.
Oh, yeah.
Hardik Pandya and Tilak Varma.
Amazing.
It almost felt like they were going to pull off this miracle.
It was so close. Hardik was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
42 runs off of, I think it was 15 balls.
Insane strike rate. 280.
280. That is crazy.
That's him being the game right there.
And Tilak Varma.
Yeah.
Coming back strong after being subbed out in the previous game.
It shows a lot of character to come back like that.
Those overs, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Almost 60 runs.
It was like the momentum just completely shifted.
Yeah, and the commentators were talking about this mindset shift.
Yeah.
Talking about complete abandon and freedom.
Yeah, once they started believing they could win, it just changed everything.
I think there's a lesson there for all of us, right?
Believing yourself.
Once you start believing you can achieve something,
you could do anything.
It changes your whole approach.
It opens up possibilities you didn't even know were there.
But you have to give credit to RCB.
Oh, yeah.
Because even with that onslaught,
yeah,
they kept their cool.
Yeah, they held their nerve.
Especially the bowling and the fielding under pressure. Exactly. And, you've got to talk about Josh Hazelwood.
Yeah.
His bowling was just crucial, especially those 4 dot balls he bowled to Sky early on. That really disrupted Mumbai's momentum.
Yeah, taking the pace out of the game.
Yeah, and even though he did concede 20 runs in a later over, his overall figures were fantastic.
Yeah, 2 for 37 in a high-scoring game like that.
You take that every day of the week.
And the fielding.
Oh, man. Brilliant catches.
Brilliant. That's what they were calling it.
Salt especially took some amazing catches.
Yeah, and that one relay catch with Salt and David.
That was unreal.
I mean, holding on to those catches when the pressure's on like that.
Yeah. It's game-changing.
It can make all the difference.
It really can, and that speaks to the team's overall composure.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Rajat Patidar's captaincy.
Right.
He was really impressive under pressure.
Yeah, it seemed like he was making all the right moves.
Yeah, those bowling changes, the field placements, especially in those crucial later overs.
Yeah, bringing on Bhuvishwar Kumar earlier than expected.
Yeah, that was a really smart tactical move.
It showed he wasn't afraid to adapt.
Yeah, he was reading the game and reacting accordingly.
That's what you want to see from a captain T20.
Absolutely. You need that flexibility, that ability to think on your feet.
And let's not forget the impact sub.
Suraj Sharma, yeah.
Bringing in a leg spinner.
A brave move.
Especially against some of those powerful MI batsmen.
Yeah, and he bowled some tight overs.
Yeah, and they mentioned his quicker pace.
Yeah, and his improved fitness.
As being real assets.
Yeah, he really made an impact.
And speaking of tactical decisions, holding back Krunal Pandya for the 20th over.
Interesting, yeah.
And using Hazelwood and Bhuvishwar in the overs leading up to it.
That's smart, yeah.
Let your best bowlers target those crucial wickets at the death.
When the pressure is at its peak.
Exactly. Really strategic stuff.
It is. It's about playing the percentages and understanding the situation.
The commentators were also talking a lot about the dot balls.
Oh, yeah.
RCB bowled a lot of dot balls.
Yeah, and that's huge in T20.
Way more than the boundaries MI hit.
Yeah, because those dot balls build pressure.
It's like, you know, when you're stuck in traffic and you're already late.
Oh, yeah, every second feels like an eternity.
That's what it's like for the batsmen.
Yeah, the pressure just keeps mounting.
And, of course, we can't forget that overturned decision on the last ball.
Oh, yeah. That was close.
One less run for MI.
Could have made all the difference.
Talk about fine margins.
Every run counts. Every decision matters.
Really highlights the importance of those little moments.
Absolutely, the game can turn on a dime.
So, Rajat Patidar, the captain.
Yeah.
A lot of praise for his leadership.
Oh, yeah. He was cool, calm, and collected under pressure.
Yeah, that really seemed to help RCB close out the victory.
Yeah, that composure can be contagious.
Right, it can settle the whole team.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's been some commentary about the scouting of Patidar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Virat Kohli has been very vocal in his support for Patidar's captaincy. So it seems like there's a lot of faith in him from the team management.
That's good to hear.
It is. It's always good to have that backing.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about MI.
Okay.
Because, you know, 4 losses out of their first 5 games.
Not a good start.
Not ideal.
No. It makes qualifying for the playoffs very difficult.
Yeah. They'll probably need to win like 7 out of their next 9.
Yeah, that's a tough ask.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, and it raises the question of whether they're leaving their run too late.
Yeah. This has been a bit of a pattern for them in recent seasons.
It has. They tend to rely on a late surge.
Which can be risky.
It is. You don't want to leave it too late.
And the competition in the IPL is so fierce these days.
Oh, yeah. Any team can beat any other on any given day.
Makes it hard to predict.
It does. That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, and there's also been some talk about Rohit Sharma
Yeah.
not being captain anymore.
Yeah.
How that's affecting the team dynamic.
It's a different dynamic for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
It will. It's still early days.
Yeah, but if we look at the broader team dynamics, RCB is being described as this really inspired unit right now.
Yeah. They're playing with a lot of energy and purpose.
And they're getting contributions from all over the batting order.
Yeah. It's not just 1 or 2 players carrying the team.
And the fact that the commentators were having trouble picking a single player of the match for RCB.
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
It really does.
It shows that it was a true team effort.
Yeah, whereas MI seems to be relying more on individual brilliance.
Yeah, and they've had some inconsistency from their top order.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on Hardik and Tilak in the middle overs.
Yeah, they had to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
But, you know, all of this really highlights the incredible competitiveness of the IPL.
Oh, yeah. It's the best T20 league in the world for a reason.
Any team can beat any other.
It's true. And the quality of the Indian players is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's not just the established stars anymore.
No, there's so much young talent coming through.
It's really exciting to see.
It is. The future of Indian cricket is very bright.
So to wrap things up, this RCB versus MI match. What a game.
An absolute thriller.
It had everything.
Momentum swings, individual brilliance, a nail-biting finish.
It really showcased the unpredictable nature of T20 cricket.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
But in the end, RCB's disciplined bowling and fielding, along with some smart captaincy from Patidar.
Yeah, they really played a smart game.
Gave them the edge.
They deserve the win.
Yeah, and you should now have a much deeper understanding of the key moments and tactical decisions.
That's right.
That made this game so exciting.
We went beyond the scorecard.
So final thought for you all.
Okay.
Given the contrasting approaches of RCB and MI, what do you think is the best way to win in the IPL? Is it top-order dominance, middle-order firepower, or is it a more well-rounded team effort with strong leadership under pressure?
It's a tough question.
It's a question that every team is trying to answer.
And there's no easy answer.
No, but it's fun to think about.
It is. It's what makes the IPL so compelling.
So keep that in mind as you watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, pay attention to those team dynamics.
And see if you can figure out the winning formula.
It's a puzzle worth solving.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for today's Deep Dive.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.